Hey everyone, welcome back to the gym. This is Franco from the Chaos Gym. Today we're going to be doing a little video that is slightly different than usual. This video is basically about news that were covered in the past week, and I'm going to be going over, since there's going to be a mini set coming out in Japan pretty soon. There are new cars that were being revealed, so I'm going to go over them and give my inside opinion about them briefly. And also I'm going to be discussing about the Japanese tournament structure that was announced the past week, and I'm going to go through them in details and discuss some of the changes that happened in the Japanese tournament. So we'll go see. So starting off with the cards, I'm going to be using PokeBeach as a reference since they already have the translation and the card scan, easy, nice to look for, nice formatted. So if you want to go and see with on your own, or you want to go through more in details, you can go to PokeBeach. We're going to be leaving a link down below in the description as well, so feel free to visit the website as well. But let's start off with Oricorio, the fire type. The Oricorio has an interesting attack. The first attack is Hot Blooded Dance. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon, fire type Pokemon, and put them onto your bench and shuffle your deck afterwards. This attack is pretty cool considering it's a nice basic Pokemon, 1 retreat, 90 HP, very easy to search off with Level Ball and Ultra Ball. Nice starter Pokemon next to Volcanion as well. But now that GX Pokemon have been becoming like setup based, I figured it would be an interesting card for setup type of decks. So considering it's only 1 energy and it's easy to search out, nice starter, I figured this card was quite of an interesting addition into the format. So we'll see how it's going to perform in the future. Definitely, it's one of my personal favorite card as a option. But moving on, this is the Psychic type Oricorio. The Omnis Dance for 1 colorless energy. Basically, for each Pokemon on your discard pile, place damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. The second attack, Revelation Dance, 30 damage. You can't use this attack unless you have a stadium in play, or there's no stadium. Basically, the attack is very conditional since it needs a stadium in play to do 30 damage. But the bright side is both attack is colorless, easy to use. Also, once again, basic Pokemon. The move, the Omnis Dance, it's quite useful in Japan considering Japan still plays X and Y on, and Night March is still in the meta. So having this card as an option is pretty nice. We also have expanded format. Night March is also an expanded. Vespa Queen is still sometimes around in the format as well. So having this card as an alternative option aside from Karen seems pretty neat. So I figured it would be cool to point it out. It's not something super impressive, but once again, I figured it was a cool addition into the format. So moving on, we're going Solgaleo, the non-GX. The attack is basically Shining Arrow does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Basically, you can hit 50 damage to either bench Pokemon or active Pokemon. Soulfang, 170 damage. This Pokemon can't use Soulfang during next turn. Typical, it's pretty neat. The one thing I do like about this is because they both have Solgaleo has GX, is also evolution as well, so you can play both of them. Like for example, you can play 2 of the GX and 2 of the non-GX. In expanded, he also has a good synergy with Bronzong, so it's a nice addition. The Solgaleo GX has a cool attack which is 238 damage for 3 metal energy. The downside is you have to discard all energy attached to Solgaleo, but the non-GX doesn't require any energy discard for the attack, so it's like a nice additional option and variation that can go along in the deck really easily. Also with the Soulfang, you can cancel the effect by using the rushing ability from the GX and then retreat it and promote it again. Also, the Solgaleo, it's not a GX as well, so even if it gets knocked out, your opponent's taking 1 prize. For Soulfang, if you're playing expanded, you have Muscle Bend, so you can attach Muscle Bend and do 190 damage, which is it's a nice number. You also have Professor Kukui, which it does 20 more as well. So you have like quite a bit of options there. I figured it'll be quite interesting, so I figured I should go over it. Moving on, we have Drampa GX. Drampa GX is like one of the cards that was recently revealed. Its first attack, Righteous Edge. It does 20 damage. Discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. I personally like this attack. It's pretty nifty. It really reminds me a lot of Cobalion EX that was played a couple of years ago, and it was decently played. Considering we have a lot of special energy in the format as well right now, it's a nifty combo. You can combine with Team Flare Grunt and even with Enhanced Hammer and make it more energy disruption. So I personally like it since it's only one energy. It's colorless. Second attack, Berserk, 80 damage. If you have any Pokemon that has any damage counters on it, it does 70 more damage. This is pretty reasonable to pull it off, considering oftentimes you can be attacking with different Pokemon and you take an attack damage, you can retreat it, and now you have a Pokemon with a damage counter on your bench. So you can do 150, 3 energy, colorless once again. Not too hard to pull it off. The GX move, Great Revolution, shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 10 cards. I'm not a huge fan of this card, this attack, personally, because it's an attack. You can use the GX attack, but we have cards like End and Judge in the format, so you can draw a card, but immediately your opponent can play End or Judge, and he can negate your GX attack, and you can basically, it's just like, it becomes a waste GX attack. Despite of that, I still think the GX is not terrible. It's kind of nice. It's just you kind of have to hope that your opponent doesn't end you or make you shuffle your cards back into your deck again. So it's an okay. Considering it's a basic GX with 180 HP, it seems reasonable. The colorless typing is very nice, considering you can it goes well with any type of energy types, so it's easy to tech in, easy to fit in. Because it's basic, it has a synergy with Fighting Fury Bell, boosts its HP. The colorless once again has a good synergy with double colorless energy, and also you could utilize Max Elixir as well. So I personally like this GX. I don't think it's super impressive, but I do like how it's easy to tech and it's very easy to use. So we'll see how it goes in the future and how it could perform in the future. Moving on, we have several cards here. I want to highlight Lurantis. Lurantis has a Sunny Day. Once again, it's a grass type, so it has a good synergy with Force of Giant Plant. It's a stage 1. The ability Sunny Day, basically what it does 20 more damage for your grass type and fire type Pokemons for their attacks. So it's a nice damage buff for grass type Pokemons. For fire type Pokemons, it's nice for evolution fire types, considering Volcanion EX only does plus 30 to basic Pokemon. So I'm kind of looking forward to see if this card will get or become playable whatsoever in the future or not, but the ability seems pretty interesting. Nice addition into the card pool, so we'll see. The other psychic type, Oricorio, the ability is, long story short, it's it's Professor's Letter. When you play into your bench, you search 2 basic energy, put it into your hand. Nothing too impressive. The attack is also not too impressive, 2 energy for 30. It's just an okay card. It's just like a different way to get your energy into your hand. Moving on, we have Altered of the Moon. It's a nice stadium card, considering any Pokemon that has either Psychic or Dark now has 2 less retreat costs. We have Fairy Garden, but Fairy Garden is only restricted to Pokemon that has Fairy energy on it. So this is quite of a nice addition, more option for Pokemon that has Psychic and Dark Energy, considering in standard format we no longer have Mystery Energy at the moment. So this kind of serves a similar purpose. And, you know, also Dark Pokemon has less retreat now. So it's going to be interesting. So we'll see how it goes with this. And moving on, we're going to be moving on with some of the Japanese tournament promo. Here's Choice Band. Choice Band is, a lot of you guys may already know, Choice Band does plus 30 to your opponent's GX and EX Pokemon. It sounds similar as Silver Vango that was released, I want to say, back in 2014, 13, yeah. 13, 14 year. The difference is Silver Vango was, it only worked restricted to non-EX Pokemon, so even if you attach to your EX Pokemon, it doesn't do plus 30, it only worked on non-EX Pokemon. However, the Choice Band works for any Pokemon, so you can attach to your EX GX Pokemon, and it still does 30 more damage to your opponent's EX GX Pokemon, which is a nice addition. So, definitely it's a very strong card. We'll see how this card will be performed in the format in the future. Very strong card. We'll see. Here we have some of the victory medals. These are the cards that you will get when you place top 4, top 2, and first place in the upcoming tournament in Japan. So switching subject, moving on, we're going to be discussing about the new Japanese tournament structures that I was saying. There were some changes. First of all, it used to be the past couple years, it used to be a Mega Battle tournament. This year, they changed the name to Champions League. And as far as from what I'm aware, the Champions League are going to be taking place starting from February, and I believe it ends at sometimes in April. So there's going to be several Champions League tournaments from February to April in Japan at different locations. However, so far they only announced one location and one date, and that is going to be the one in Osaka, which is going to be on February 18th and 19th. Moving into tournament structure, the difference is in the previous years in the Mega Battles, the way the tournament worked was basically you had a different stages and you have to win several games in a row. Long story short, in order for you to earn your invite, I think you had to win like roughly at least 6 games in a row, and you had to be in a row. Basically, if you win like 3 games in a row and then you lose a match, you have to work your way out again, and you have to try to win 6 games in a row. And since it's a lineup, you have to line up and wait for your turn and stuff. It usually used to take, like, if you lose, you have to wait, I want to say, like, at least an hour and a half so you can play again. And there's also a time limit. So for the most part, if you lose once or twice, you're just not going to have enough time to, like, win out all your games to reach for your invite. However, they changed the structure this year for Masters. Juniors and seniors is still the same way as the previous years, but just for a Master, they decided to change it this year. For Master this year, it's going to be Swiss pairings, and it's going to be best 2 out of 3, and it's going to be a 15 minutes time limit. This is basically the same format we have for regionals, worlds, and intercontinental. So what shows this is that we see that Japan is now trying to make their tournament very similar to our tournament structure, because every year the Japanese players had to adjust themselves into our tournament structure. So I think they're trying to adjust themselves as well for Worlds, or just to make it easier for the Japanese players going into Worlds, having a similar format. So this is like a nice and interesting change from Japan, considering the past 4 or 5 years was not like this as well. However, there are a few differences. It's not entirely the same as our tournament structures. The basis is Swiss pairings. That part is the same. The difference I want to say is so far, based on date, I see on the description and how they announce, it says you have to win. If you win 5 or more games, basically you will move on to the next stage, which is basically called basically it's top cut in our terms. So I want to guess there's gonna be roughly, my guess is gonna be either 7 to 9 rounds, 9 tops total in Swiss. But my guess is gonna be like, I want to say 7 or 8 rounds. So within the 7 or 8 rounds, I guess you have to win 5 games at least so you can make Intercut. And the different there is a huge difference in the top cut compared with our tournament structure. Is like I said, in Swiss it's best out of 3. However, in top cut is going to be 30 minutes, best out of 1. So you only have 1 shot in top cut. You lose once, you're out. So that's very different from ours, considering ours is best out of 3 still, with more time limit. So this is going to be interesting how it's going to turn out in top cut. This is very important considering this could determine your championship points that you can earn in this tournament, and etc. etc. So moving on, as I was mentioned right now, they are providing championship points in their tournaments now, compared with last year they had no championship points. One thing I do want to clarify is that the championship points they use in Japan and the championship we use in our tournament system are different championship points, despite that they have the same name. Basically, it's a different championship points. They have the same name, different points. So even if you earn championship points in Japan, it's not going to reflect towards your championship points score in states or wherever you're living outside of Japan or Korea. Same with for the Japanese players. Like, let's say they come to our tournament, they earn their championship points. However, those championship points that they earn in the States or any other countries will not reflect towards their score for their championship points in Japan. Also, the points that they distribute is very different as well. So we're going to be going more in details about that. Here, the championship points for this year, it's going to be valid starting in February, and then it's going to expire into August for 2017. The interesting thing about this is that if there is any tournament in Japan that will give you championship points like December, October 2017, basically after Worlds 2017, those points will carry on for the championship points scored on 2018. That's a major change for Japan, because usually the tournaments that were held during wintertime had no relation whatsoever with the invite. So this will change the whole aspect, and it will have more meaning for the winter tournaments than before, because now you can earn points that will carry on to the spring as well. So it'll be interesting to see players more trying harder for the winter tournament as well. So we'll see how that's going to turn out. Moving on. Here is the championship points that will be distributed. As I mentioned before, juniors and seniors, the way they handle the tournament is going to be same as the previous years, but they will be also using championship points. Also, here we see that 9 through 6 will get 1 championship point, meaning my guess is going to be, considering it's also best out of 1, I think the top cut is going to be top 16. So the top cut range is going to be top 16 and I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's gonna, yeah, it's definitely whoever wins. They're gonna feel like whoever wins like 5 games or more, they're gonna get added into the top cut list and so on. So if there's like, I kind of like, I'm not too sure how it's gonna turn out, but let's say if there's gonna be like, if it happens to be like more than 16 people with like 5 wins or more, maybe they might expand the cut to 32 or so, or I don't know how they're gonna do it. Or maybe there's gonna be like the first people who made 5-0 or higher, in order they will make into cut or so, but we'll figure it out. But so far, based on what I see here, I'm guessing the cutoff for top cut is going to be top 16. And as you can see, 5th through 8, you'll get 2, top 4, 3, and so on and so on. And first place will get 5 points. So here's like a slight difference is that they have their national championship as well. And in order to be able to participate at their nationals, the way it works is basically you have to earn 5 championship points. If you have 5 championship points, you're eligible to participate at nationals. And of course, if you do well at nationals, you'll get your invite as well. So that's one way to earn your invite in Japan. The second part is there's also another way you can earn your invite, but this part is like still not clarified by the official Pokemon company yet. Basically, they're still either debating on whether they're gonna decide, like like us, where if you earn a specific amount of championship point, you'll get your invite automatically, or they can do like a ranking system like we had a couple years ago, like top, like top 20 or 16 that accumulated the most championship point will get their invite as well. They're still like debating, and on the description it says here where they're still trying to decide which route they're gonna take. So this is a interesting change for Japan, that they're using championship points and they're making it very similar to our tournament structure, which is pretty cool. The one thing that I'm kind of wasn't too happy necessarily was that they still don't share the same championship point system as ours. So if the Japanese players comes into our intercontinental and they earn CPs, those championship points will not count towards their score in Japan for their invite. So that's like the only one upsetting thing. But other than that, it seems interesting. This is a new thing. Based on what I read, I see how Pokemon Company is still trying to make changes, and they're trying to see how they're going to do. Even on the bottom description, they also mention how not everything here is written in stone. They might change. There's a potential change on how much points they're going to be distributing, or how the system it could change. But there's the intention where they're trying to make changes, and they're trying to like see how this change is going to work out, and they're going to make potential changes based on how it turns out. Yeah, there is a lot of players playing in Japan. Their TCG population is really big as well, so it's kind of hard to manage and organize everything as well, so everything will go smoothly. So I can understand that aspect, but we'll see. But as far as based on what I read, this is how the tournament structure for 2017 in Japan is going to be. So for those who are interested or making plans to go to Japan, or maybe wants to, I don't know, participate in one of these tournaments, that's how it's going to be. Swiss pairings, best out of 3, 15 minutes. Top cut is going to be best out of 1, and it's going to be based on championship points. So yeah, I figure not everyone is aware of this detailed information. So if you're one of those people who happen to be interested to knowing these kind of stuff, I'm here to provide these, and I'll be looking forward to make more videos covering about different news, whether it's new cards revealed or tournament structures or anything cool that I think we can cover and share to you guys. So if you like it, hit like on the video and stay tuned for more content in the future videos as well. So till then, next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.